With Total Drama Island recently rebooting, I decided to check it out given it's one of my favorite cartoons from since I was a kid. I watched the entire season a couple of days ago and I gotta say, this season was really good. With the absence of Christian Potazza, the original voice actor for Chris McClane, I think that's how you say his name, I was a little worried about going into this season. However, as I got deeper and deeper into each episode, I didn't care about the host switch that much. The season was really good and did a lot of things that previous seasons like Pocket Hill and All Stars did not. One of the best things this season did was improve on the cast and actually make unique and good characters that weren't just bland stereotypes. That being said, the cast was not perfect, and the best example of this is Scary Girl. From the moment I saw her on the cast promotion pieces, I feared for the worst. You see, one of the major problems of the last couple seasons of Total Drama was the characters felt less like real people and more like wacky and zany character archetypes. One of the best things about the first island was the cast was very realistic, and you probably have met a Heather, a Lindsay, or a Jeff in your school before. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have wacky and weird characters. Izzy was a great example of having a crazy character, a fan favorite that just meshed so well with the earlier seasons. And Scary Girl on paper should have worked, but the key word is should, and in truth she doesn't. The show presents Lauren, yes that's her real name, as this creepy and unsettling character. However, a lot of the time the stuff she does just sounds super cringy, like that kid in 5th grade who would rub his hands together and say something a Pixar villain would say. In fact, I would say most of the time Lauren talks more than she actually does. The few times Lauren actually does anything is usually pretty dumb, like going after Damien with a jackhammer, or wasting time swinging around a bear. Like, for as much justified hate Mal got in All Stars for just being a stereotypical villain, I would say Lauren is the exact same, except they just combined Mal with Harley Quinn. Other than that, it's just her saying corny one-liners to the camera with a very few select good ones. I will say If You're Gonna Hide a Body was actually kind of clever, and I thought it was funny for Total Drama. That being said, most of her one-liners are corny, but I wouldn't even care that much about her one-liners if she was at least a standout character. However, even there she fails. And finally, the biggest reason for why she does not work as a character is that her biggest and only defining character trait is not even unique to her. Her biggest character trait is that she's unnaturally special. She's an individual who separates herself from the cast. The show presents her as different from everyone else. Her design itself is meant to stand out from the rest of the cast. She's not normal. However, as I watched the show, I realized she's not very special, or even have unique abilities unique to her, considering that many people on the show seem to also have unrealistic super abilities. Yeah, Lauren could lift a bear, sure, but many characters throughout the show also possess super strength, not to mention incredibly gifted acrobatics. Makes moments where she's lifting the bear just meh. Like, yeah, you lifted a bear, but Priya literally went bungee jumping as a baby using her umbilical cord. I think Priya has her beat. Not to mention, apparently Eva Sean 2.0 whatever is so strong that she can push a dude 3 times her body weight into the water. The reason Scary Girl does not feel special and that basically you forget about her the second she gets voted off is because there are so many characters who can do the exact same thing as her. Apart from her elimination where she kind of does some demonic stuff, the rest of the time she's just striking menacing poses or showing that she has a skill set that every other girl on the show has. Not to mention, she was booted off and cursed the show, and yet you see her in the finale totally fine. Like, why isn't she going to curse the show, or isn't she going to enact her vengeance? But she doesn't. To be honest, she just feels like a lazy attempt to capture the same attention Gwen got in season 1 by giving people another goth girl to fan over. But at least Gwen, she had an amazing character arc. Lauren is not a character. She's just Mal and Harley Quinn rolled into one, who constantly tells us corny stuff that is supposed to be scary. However, we never see her do any of the things she talks about. And apart from 1 or 2 instances she demonstrates, she's no different from any of her fellow competitors. Scary Girl on paper was a good idea that was executed very poorly. Honestly, it makes sense that she was eliminated so early. I mean, where can you go with a character like her, whose only defining character trait is I'm scary and I look like Gwen? I don't see her being a long-lasting character, as her shtick will get old pretty quickly. She's not a character, she's just a gimmick. That's all.